I never actually decided to become an artist. It's just who I am. You're making the world beautiful. We're expressing our human nature when we create art. We're feeling what it is to be human. Kids are getting something out of what I teach, and I never even realized it. It's good to humble myself because I just want to show up and be the best that I can.
So we're going to have 5 minutes and we have to draw a frog, pizza, donut, dragon.
Stressing.
Gosh, this is terrifying. What have I done?
Hi, I'm Maddie.
And I'm Ella. We are homeschoolers. We met through a homeschool platform called Recess, where we found our passion for learning and podcasting.
Exactly.
Come join us on our journey of self-directed learning as we dive into all the things about recess on our
Recess Rundown Podcast.
And we will hopefully see you there. Welcome back to another episode of the Recess Rundown Podcast. Today's guest is Bridget. She is a multimedia artist exploring the influence of color on perception and the nuance of female identity. Her work has been featured in exhibits in both London and Toronto, Ontario. She also has a super cool alternative rock band called In Your Walls, where she is the lead vocalist and bassist. Thank you for being with us today, Bridget.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, I've known Bridget my entire life, literally. We are related and she's my godmother. So it's so cool to have you as a guide at Recess.
Yeah, I'm super honored to be a part of Recess. I think it's such a cool opportunity, and when I heard about it from you, I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I had that when I was a kid.
Yeah, Recess is awesome.
How did you, I know you heard about Recess from Maddie, but how did that whole thing start?
Recess didn't have art yet, and I was just finishing up my degree in visual art. Maddie's mom brought it up and they wanted to talk to me, and we chatted, and they were kind of telling me about what the philosophies are with education for Recess, and I was coming up with ideas of how that could work with art classes because it's more open-ended, which I think is really cool. It's encouraging exploration, and personally I think that's really good for art.
Yeah, I agree. You are known at Recess for the art teacher, and we actually made a montage video of some of your art. I will share my screen and show. That was it.
That's a pretty montage.
So that was your amazing art. But I do have a question. Why did you decide to become an artist, and what motivates you to create those wonderful pieces?
I would say I never actually decided to become an artist. It's just who I am.
Interesting.
So I always doodled in school, and there were lessons going on. I would try and take notes, but then I would draw in the margins, and just draw random things like trees with weird branches, and I was just having fun with it. And then in high school, I got really into painting, and I was always thinking about things I could paint. So it wasn't really like a conscious decision, but the decision to go to university was more of a conscious decision because I know no matter what I did, I would always be making art. So I decided to pursue art in university because I just felt like really connected to it, and I was encouraged by teachers actually, like because I was very good at math and science too. So I was like, oh, I should do that because it's a safe thing.
Yeah.
But people encouraged me to actually do the art, which was really nice. And I chose a school where they would let me get science electives so that I would have something else because it's a more risky degree. But yeah, no matter what, I would be an artist in some kind of way. I think I need to create, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. You just like always knew.
I don't know if you can relate, but I'm just always thinking. Like I'm a very visual person, so I like to look at things and then think about how it would look in a painting or like some interesting things that happen. Right now in my room, I think the way that the light is coming through the curtains is really interesting. And I think you could frame that up and make it a cool thing to look at.
I kind of relate in a way. And that's something really cool to think about, just staring at something and just being like, whoa, that might be an awesome painting.
Yeah.
I always look at things, I'm like, oh, I wish I could paint that. And it's always when I don't have, like, I'm not able to take a photo of it or grab a sketchbook and then quickly sketch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a little sketchbook that you bring around?
I do. I always forget that I have it though. I've got this little pink one.
Oh, cool.
It's so cool. I have a notebook. That's the only thing I have.
Yeah, because you like to write.
Yeah, but I do doodle in it though.
It's cool. It's connected. I think all the creative things are connected. It's not like you have to divide yourself up into little pieces.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even I've kind of noticed in doing theater that it's also, so that I'm also interested in like creative writing and stuff like that. They are kind of connected because you're writing a script and you're doing this, but also in one play that I was in a musical that I was in, they had us write this little thing on our characters, where we had to write about them and create a backstory and do all of this.
Cool.
And it's like you're saying, they're kind of connected.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Those paintings that you've done, and I can kind of imagine that would take really long.
Yeah.
Can you take us through your artistic process from concept to completion? Like, how do you know when you're finished with your work?
Okay, so actually what you showed was some paintings and some etchings. So I'll talk about painting, but then I'm going to explain what etching is because it's a little bit of a different process. So for my paintings, I like to do a lot of landscapes. I love trees, but I'm interested in the way that forms react with their environment. So, for example, in that one that you showed that was orange and blue, I did a pink background and then I painted the trees in orange in front, but then I added the background behind it. And there's these little gaps, and you get this push and pull between what the foreground is and what the background is, and it makes you recontextualize like how you look at a forest, which is I think really interesting. So I to back it up, I like to go and I take pictures of stuff and I collect these things and I try and create paintings of stuff that inspires me from like my daily life, because personally I can't if I can't connect to it, I feel like I won't be in it with the painting, and then it's not as good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, well, looking at a painting, I think a lot of the time you can definitely tell when an artist has really connected with the piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then etching. So the images that you showed that were like single color, like black and white or black and brownish color, those are etchings. I did copper plate etchings. So it's you get a piece of metal. So like, imagine this book, this hardcover here. I have a piece of metal. It's a rectangle like this, so you can get any size you want. Piece of copper, and I use special processes with an acid to dissolve away parts of it and create
so
an
cool.
image that way.
Yeah.
And then once you have the piece of metal like complete, and you clean it up and all that, it becomes sort of like a stamp. So you rub ink into it, and there's grooves, and you like do a rub on it, and the ink will sit in the grooves, and then you'll rub it off if the metal is like flat. So like imagine this is metal. If I have a scratch here, the ink will sit in the scratch.
Right.
So then you ink it up, and then you put paper on top of it, and then you run it through this press, and it puts a ton of pressure on it, and the ink gets sucked up out of the plate onto the paper. So you can do multiples like that, which is really cool. And it's actually an old technique. So some like older artists would do these. It's not something that's like really new. And I find that really interesting because right now we're in the digital era. So it's cool to like reconnect with the way people used to make art.
That's so cool. I remember I went to one of your expeditions, a few of those that we have in that video in person, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, how?
Yeah, it's very fun to do printing. I think it'd be cool to get some of the art kids printing, but
That's cool.
the problem with that is it requires a lot of like individual work. So people would need to do lots of work outside of class, and I would more so guide. But if anyone ever told me they wanted to learn more about printing, I'd be happy to help out with that.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm curious how, like, kind of talking about like process and creation, what is the longest it's taken you to finish a painting, or like the shortest, just like complete flow state? It's like just came out of you.
Like months for like a painting, especially oil paintings, because it needs time to dry in between. But if it's taking months, it's not necessarily like I'm working all the time for months. And then the shortest, I'd say like a couple days.
Days.
Well, it's never fast because unless it's a watercolor, but I make large scale, not super large scale. In art, it would actually be medium scale, but more so large scale stuff. And it just takes time, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's fun to get lost in the process of making. I can show you guys a painting I recently completed if you want. It's for the cover of the new single my band is releasing. So this is a painting I recently did. This took me a couple weeks from like getting the canvas.
That's so beautiful.
Thank you. So this is a 36 by 36 inch acrylic painting, and then like the stuff around it obviously is like added digitally after for the album. I'm sorry, the single cover.
Yeah.
And the song is called Men from Mars. So there's Mars in the back, and then like that's an elephant seal on the right. So it's like kind of this absurdity moment. And then I went crazy with the stars, and that was so fun. But it's like I got lost in like building up layers of paint.
That is, this. I really like the stars. I feel like it wouldn't be the same without them. It's so nice.
Yeah, it really like I think all the layers kind of make this like glowing effect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Something cool about paint, if you really get into painting, is there's so many different types of colors for what you would think is the same color. So there's different kinds of blues, and then there's different formulations. So I use like a number of blues, but if you use a blue that is transparent, it shows the background through, and that can create more of a dynamic feel. So I would use those types of blues to like really build it up, which is very fun. And then you get a different vibe with that.
Interesting.
So how we're kind of seeing some of your more recent works, but how has your art style changed over time? And who are some of your favorite artists?
I think over time I have developed like more of a visual language. Early on, I was exploring more so, like especially in high school. I don't think anyone should try and find their art style when they're young and they haven't explored stuff. Like definitely you can explore an art style, but to feel like this is my art style and I have to only do it, I think that's bad for your artistic development. So it was a lot of exploration and kind of collecting different things that I like from art, and going to galleries is awesome for that. I think if you're a young artist and you're really interested in art, you should try and see as much of it as you can, and you should steal. There's a quote from an artist like, good artists copy, great artists steal. You should take what you see that you like and put it together, because when you take a lot of different influences, then you're going to be putting it together in your own way. So that's kind of what I'm doing. And in university, I met this super awesome painting professor, Sky Glabosh, and he has been like very like motivating for me because I love the way that he paints, and he is still a working artist, and he has done a lot of cool paintings recently, which I find awesome. I think painting is a long game where you really excel as you get older. It's not a race. It's about finding like pieces of yourself in the world. So I don't know if that really answered your question, but
I mean, no, that did, and I like that ending bit. You're finding pieces of yourself, and it's like it's a long game.
yeah.
That was nice. Was there like a mentor or like influence that's really shaped your work?
Yeah, well, I just talked about my professor. So he definitely, he the way he talks about painting is just, he loves it, and he will really give you some good critiques. And sometimes it's hard to hear good critiques. It's like when your art you're really connected to it, it feels like it's a part of you. So for someone to come in and critique it, you feel like you're getting attacked sometimes. But it's good to experience that because that's how you can really grow. You know, you're seeing how someone perceives what you made. And that's so different.
Are you still in touch with him?
Yeah, he recently had like this soiree with like different artists and like was talking about art. It was cool. Like once in a while. And I talk to my friends too that were in like my art classes, and sometimes we like get together and do art, which is really fun.
It's so cool.
I've never like gotten together with like a whole group of people in real life to like make art. Now I want to do that.
You should. You know what you should do? You could go to Toronto, bring a sketchbook, and sit in the AGO and just draw. And you're under 24, so you can get in for free. I can still get in for free. So you just sign up for a membership and you go and you can look at the art, but you can also sit there with a sketchbook and like look at stuff and like make your own sketches. I would really encourage you to do that.
I will. That's cool. I haven't been to the AGO in forever. Now I should really do that. Thank you. What are some misconceptions about art, and like, can you discuss the value in doing art?
Okay, I think the biggest misconception about art is like to be a good artist, you can draw like a photo, or you can paint like a photo. That definitely means you have skill if you can do that, but there is so much value in creating art, and you can be a great artist even if you cannot for the life of you draw like a photo. Because essentially art is about contextualizing the world. So when you create something, you're saying, this is how I see things. And it gives the people that go and look at your paintings a new way of looking at the world now that they've seen your painting. So, for example, you could go to a gallery and see a painting of a girl picking apples. And you can say, wow, that is so beautiful. I really like the way the light's coming through the trees. And now when you go out into the world, you could also pay attention to the way the light is coming through the trees. And another example, I think, is that abstract art, that's not easy. That is a common misconception. Because to make art that is abstract is one thing, but to make really good and interesting art that is abstract is something else. And to be really great at abstract, you have to be a master of composition. You have to really know how to lay out a painting, which is a hard skill to develop. And that's different from developing how to draw something or how to paint something realistically.
Yeah, I mean, like, composition is definitely something that I struggle with, and it's yeah, I can understand that.
And one more thing about this is, so this is a little art history, but before cameras were invented, painting had the purpose of documenting. So we have a lot of paintings of historical figures. After the camera, we were able to capture people accurately. And so we experienced this evolution. What's the point of painting if we can just take a picture? And we're finding like a lot of interesting things because of that, which is really cool. And you know, if someone paints something accurately and it's like a hyper realism portrait, now the argument is like, why did you do that? Like, what is the reason why you would spend so long on that portrait? Like, and you have to make a new argument for why you would do that artistically, which is interesting in and of itself.
Can you discuss the value in doing art?
There is so much value. I think, you're making the world beautiful. There's so much value in creating things that show beauty, or sometimes they don't show beauty, but they evoke emotions that are real. And we're expressing our human nature when we create art, and then when we go see art, we're feeling what it is to be human and to create. Um, if we don't have cool art and we don't have architecture, the world is less interesting. Imagine going to Italy and there's no cool architecture and there's no paintings on the walls. We're not losing food or shelter or anything, but we're losing something else as a society. And I think we have to value those things, because we shouldn't just think about food and shelter. I think it's great that we don't have to, and we're very privileged. And I wish that everyone in the world didn't have to think about that. But, like, can you be happy if you were not fulfilled artistically? And, there's more to it than that. But going to a movie, like, movies are art. Like, to see, like, a really great film, there's an artistic director, right? The way they frame movies, that's art. So art is all encompassing in a way, but it adds so much value to life, I think.
Yeah.
So many, almost all of the things that make me happy that I enjoy doing, they're all creative. Music and acting and painting and drawing, it's all creative things. And I think if that was not there, I would be very lost of what to do.
Yeah.
And also, when you do that, you create value for other people. Like when you go and act in a play, someone who's like had a long day at work can go and watch it and experience enjoyment. So there's like two parts of it, which I find really beautiful.
Yeah.
Going back on track about recess, like, what do you think about it? Like, would you have wanted recess when you were a kid?
Totally, totally would have wanted to be in recess. I think it's awesome. Because I think at recess, uh, kids are treated as they are. Like sometimes in school, it's like kill the creativity and it's just awful.
Yeah.
But kids are small humans, and it's good to recognize that. And you're able to actually explore what you're interested in and fully dive into all these different things, which I think is so good. And it sets you up for the future very well, because you could go through school and like you could have really strict teachers and don't act out in class, and you're just being taught to like obey, and you're not always being taught to explore what you're interested in.
Right.
And then you're gonna grow up and then be like, what do I want to do with my life sometimes? And thankfully I was encouraged to do what I was interested in, but I've had friends that are like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to go to university for. I don't know if I want to do university. I don't know what job I want to do. And I think, if you're able to explore things as a kid, that totally helps like with that problem.
Yeah.
Definitely. The kids aren't being talked down to. I've had many adults, they talk down to me because I'm young. They're like, "Oh, you're a little child. What do you know?" And the relationship with the guides and the teachers at recess, it's definitely less adult child. We're like
human.
Yeah, human to human, and like friends.
Yeah. Yeah, I
agree.
think that's super important. Because it's like, I'm not better than you. Why should I like talk down to you?
Exactly.
You guys are so cool. And you guys, like, kids at recess teach me stuff. So it's like, why should I put myself ever on a pedestal?
Also, when you're talking about in school, they don't really get you to be creative. I understand that. I only did kindergarten when I was in person school. Kindergarten, that's the only time you get to actually be creative. And from then on, it's just learning things you sometimes don't even really want to learn, and you don't really get the time to be creative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I like looking back on school, it's also how much of it is actually learning and how much is just being told, do this, do that.
Yeah.
Because I think I could have learned what the curriculum was in school like much faster than what it was presented.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I think at recess, kind of like going back to what you were talking about, Maddie, is the guides are kind of always pushing you to try out new things or to keep going. It's, yeah, like I said, you've got that nice relationship with them.
Yeah. What art classes do you offer at recess, and what can you discuss what's the difference between them?
So right now I offer Art 101 and then intermediate and advanced art. So Art 101 is more so like I'm new to art and I want to create, and then intermediate and advanced art classes are when you've made art and you're probably a bit older and you can focus on stuff better and you can follow along with more in-depth lessons, and I'll get more into like different techniques, and I can be a lot more specific about stuff, and I don't have to explain as much about how to do it, so that I can focus more on giving like the next level of what I want you to be learning about.
Yeah.
And right now, intermediate and advanced is grouped together, but eventually I will split that up. And I also am going to be adding painting very soon.
Ooh.
So
That's
it'll
so
be
cool.
only painting, and I'm going to do acrylic painting for an hour and a half. So
Nice.
the goal with that would be probably also people that sign up for that have done acrylic painting before, but it would be like I'll walk you through creating a painting.
I've done
Colors.
I've done paintings. I am not good. I feel like I'm more of a I draw kind of way more better than I paint. But I mean, yeah, painting is still really fun because it's just like you can explore, and like, the brushes are cool and so many different ways to paint.
One little thing, you say you're not good. That's like language I want people not to use, because I think what is good, you're learning, and also I think a better thing you can say would be like, I haven't been able to achieve what I'm trying to achieve. Because when you phrase it like that, then you give yourself, okay, what do I need to learn in order to do that? And you say you enjoy it, you have fun with it, and that's super important.
I think a lot of the time, there there needs to be like a healthy mindset centered around art, because it's so easy to just compare yourself to other artists or like just other people. It's like who've been doing it for 5 years and maybe you've only been doing it for 2 years, but it's like they're like looking at it, it's like, oh, you're so much better than me. Why is this, like, why should I keep doing this? But
That's a problem. Like it's not competitive, but humans are competitive, and then you'll feel bad about yourself if you're not, doing what you want to like achieve. But it's like you're doing your own thing. Like no one is ever going to be you as an artist, and that's what makes you awesome as an artist. Like when you find out exactly what you want to create and you create it, you're putting something new out into the world, and that's like a gift, because now I'm going to look at something and be like, wow, that's Ella. And then you're going to make something new and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I can totally tell that that's an Ella drawing a painting. And I think, we have this idea too as a society sometimes where it's like, if I don't have the natural ability, then I'm not a good artist. Or it's like you have to be born with it to do it. That's so wrong. Like anyone can learn how to draw, how to paint.
I've looked at sketchbooks from when I was like 8 or 9 years old, and the stuff it's not. I was not born with it. Definitely not born with the ability to make art, but it's, I still tried.
It's cool.
Yeah, I used to draw stick figures, and for some weird reason, I always drew them flying.
That's cool.
And the hair will just be spaghetti pieces. It's just like some lines. But I mean, yeah, I definitely improved. I remember being like, this is so good. But I feel like, yeah, I evolved kind of from stick figures to actually drawing real people, not realism, a little bit more cartoony.
But when it's like, I love when there's like a more cartoony aspect to things.
Yeah.
That little like cartoony humans.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you also play in a really cool band, Bridget.
Yes.
Are you okay with us giving our listeners a little clip of you playing in your band?
Sure.
All right.
I guess I'm some kind of creature. You give me your amnesia. I get so sick when I'm sleeping. Can you give me what you're feeling? Listen, that ain't all there. What you doing? 'Cause it's in my head. Catching up to things I say, but I'll make it right to the end.
I love the quality in your voice during that song.
Cool. Thank you. That was a very hot day, but that clip you just showed was from a live session we did. So it's not the audio of the song that's released. So it was a fun experience to do. But it's funny. I look at that and I'm like, oh my god, that day was 30 degrees and there was no AC.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we had to turn the AC off so that you didn't hear it when we're playing and get picked up in the mic.
That does not sound fun.
Yeah.
How did this all start? How did you get into being in a band?
Outside of being artistic, I'm artistic in the way of songwriting, so I've always written little songs ever since I was a kid. And then in university, I just kind of decided I really wanted to be in a band, so I started learning bass because bass is cool. And I formed the band in university, and then members came and went, and we got to this point where this is the band members, and this is like set. So it just kind of developed over time, which is really cool, and I found like really awesome musicians to play with. Like, my guitarists are great, and my drummer is great, so I just feel honored to be in a band with them too.
That's cool. I've heard rumors of there being a band club at Recess.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It'll be cool. Maybe we can get your expertise.
Yeah, I can hang out. I love talking about music.
You play so many instruments and you compose music. Will you ever be offering any music classes in recess?
I just don't know right now because I'm trying to expand like the art offerings, and with music it's I do like one-on-one music classes outside of recess, so I'm not sure how, like, I want to be able to offer something that would offer like value to the kids. So I think maybe like a songwriting class could be cool, or just like for fun one time. But yeah, right now I just have a lot going on.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. And a songwriting class sounds really cool, though.
Yeah, cool.
So we ask this question to all of our guests. You kind of answered this a little bit, but what did you want to be when you were a kid, and did that change over time?
So, like, if I'm gonna be honest, when I was a young kid, I wanted to be a mermaid when I grew up. And then it was like, oh, wait, I can't actually be a mermaid. And then I wanted to be a doctor. And I wanted to be a doctor for a while, but then I kind of volunteered at a hospital for a while because I liked helping people, and I realized it probably wasn't for me because the setting, I think, didn't make me happy. And I realized what drew me to being a doctor was like helping people, but also money, and I thought that wasn't right. So I think I'm happy now, like, teaching, because I think I can help people that way. And there's been so many moments where I realize that kids are getting something out of what I teach, and I never even realized it. And I think it's good to like humble myself, because I just want to show up and be the best I can. And you never know like what someone's going through in their own life, and like what you're offering could be like the highlight of their week, and you have no idea.
Bridget, when you were talking about how you want to be a mermaid when you're younger, I feel like a lot of kids' dreams is, I want to be a fantasy person. I wanted to be a princess.
Yeah.
But in reality, I'm like, no. And
you know what? It wasn't Ariel. It was Mermaid Barbie. I wanted, I was like, wow, that looks so fun and pretty. I want to do that.
Barbie's like an icon for every young girl's.
Yes. She's awesome. And she's a girl that has jobs and she works.
Yeah, she's like all the jobs in the world. She's like over 500 jobs. How does she do all this?
Yeah, I love Barbie as a little kid as well.
I know.
I was more interested in like the Barbies with like children, though. I loved like the baby the babies.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember going on like a video call with one of my old friends and just being like, okay, so this is my Barbie, that's your Barbie, and we're gonna role play together. And then other Barbies like, this is my kid, we're roommates, and we're like friends. It's so cringe in a way, but oh my gosh, childhood memories coming back.
Bridget, this is kind of like going back to what you were saying earlier, like about helping people and how you really enjoy teaching because of that. I think you have helped me a lot, like in the past year of me, like over a year, me taking your art classes. I think my art has improved like crazy amounts, and like I've learned new techniques, but also my confidence around my art has also just improved. You've really helped me with that.
I'm so happy to hear that. I think you've really grown as an artist in terms of like how you think, which is hard to do. And that's also you. Like your improvement is totally on you. Like you've drawn so much and created so much, and I'm just like happy to see you do it.
Are you ready to play a game?
Yes.
We're going to spin a wheel. We'll just use a random generator that gives us two random prompts. We then combine both of those things into one drawing. So if it gives you something like cat and pizza, you'd have to draw a cat pizza. Okay. So we'll have about like 3 to 5 minutes to draw it, and then we're going to have to describe it to everyone listening, or if they're watching video version, they can see it. Who wants their prompt first?
Me.
All right. Dragon plus donut.
Okay.
Bridget, yours is penguin and skateboard. And mine is frog and pizza. All right. So we're going to have 5 minutes, and we have to draw a frog, pizza, or donut dragon.
So we combine it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like together.
Like a mix of it.
Yes, mine is Dragon Donuts, so it's going to be like a dragon in a donut or something.
Yeah, or, I mean, it's kind of just how you interpret it. They just have to be the same thing.
I'm going to add, like, chocolate to mine. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but, like, you will see. Stressing.
Gosh, this is terrifying. What have I done?
Last minute touches is scary. I'm adding like very vague shading. Okay, time's up.
Okay.
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 That was interesting. What do you guys? Okay, you want to show?
Sure.
Okay. Put up the screen in 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Ella. How?
Oh man, he says, I love the sprinkles and the shading. How did you do that in 5 minutes?
I just put on random colors and just started randomly adding lines. And Bridget, awesome. I love yours. I like your, oh my gosh, the little feet at the end.
Oh, I didn't even see the feet. Oh, that's so cute.
Oh my gosh. I'm still like, Ella, how did you do that?
I don't know. Stress.
Yes. I don't know. I don't even know if you can tell if it's a dragon. As if you've watched some of our other episodes, you know that we have questions from our last interview person that we interviewed. So this is Svet's question. If you had the opportunity to get into another planet, for example, Mars, would you?
Yes, if I have awesome safety equipment.
That's true.
That sounds scary a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
if you were to create a question for us to ask the next guest on our show, what would it be?
I think if you had the ability to influence the next big fashion trend, but you had to make it silly, what would you choose? So you have the power, like maybe everyone is going to be walking around with like frog ears, like, and you're going to walk outside and it's like the hugest fashion trend.
Yeah,
What would you choose?
oh my gosh, like wearing a wreath on your, like, just a wreath. And you're like,
That'd be crazy.
this is the new trend. What do you mean? This is the new trend in the house. What are you talking about?
The chunky necklace. It's evolved. Yeah.
You could add like Christmas baubles.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like a Christmas kind of thing. Or Halloween, just like wearing a pumpkin,
That'd be cool.
jack-o'-lantern on your head or something.
Ooh. I would get a tiny pumpkin.
That
And
would
I
be
would like
cute.
have a ponytail, and then I would have like the pumpkin
Oh
be
my
like
gosh, yes.
on like pumpkin and then ponytail. I think that'd be cute.
Oh, that is so cute. It's like the scrunchie.
Yeah.
So, do you have any final thoughts?
Thank you for having me.
Of
I
course.
think you guys asked some really awesome questions, and I really enjoyed talking about art with you guys.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, it was fun. So it is the end of the episode, and thank you so much, Bridget, for being on the Recess Rundown podcast. It was really fun to get to know you a little bit more and just talk about art with you.
And if you watching are part of the Resource community and would like to be on our show, please email us, Maddie and Ella, at recessrundown@gmail.com, or you can directly message us on the Recess platform, and possibly we can get you on the podcast too.
Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye.